what I'm going to do with myself with all this extra time that I'm not going to have anymore. So I just said I'm going to just start bringing you all along for the adventure. Started the stretching in the morning, maybe 3-4 times a week, and then I'm going to be doing the live stream of my workouts probably 2-3 times a week, all the body weight stuff, and just pivoting back into fitness, faith, and fatherhood. And so tonight is I'm going to test out my dad with dishes concept, thought process, and see if the audio works well enough. If this is too distracting, I hope it's not. I hope this little DJI mic does the trick. But tonight is story night, as every night, just concluding the night and seeing about the stories and just the amazing things of the day. I'd say the story that there's two stories that come out at me is, if you have a kid and they don't eat, it's, it's tragic. It really puts you on edge because you're really worried about that little one. The little one just doesn't eat as well as she could. She didn't take on the skill sets of her father, let's say. And when she has a good feeding day, man, it just feels fantastic. You're just on cloud nine. And she was eating really, really well. And me and my wife were just kind of staring at each other, just not even knowing what to do with the evening because everything was going right. And when that happens, you kind of have that, worry in the back of your mind where it's like, what could go wrong here? But we were taking advantage, we were trying to bask in the blessing of the moment. And so my littlest one had grabbed a bunch of edamame, and she's did a big no-no, which was start running around, and I just didn't catch her in time. And like I said, I was just so thankful that she had been eating well that day, and she ate like really well that day. I think she had got a really good set of food into her throughout the day, just because we took up biking. We just got this lull in the weather. It was fantastic. Anyway, I just started to hear those horrible sounds that every parent gets scared about, and I just kind of hear that that sound, and the first thing that comes to your mind is my child choking? Like we have there's this like this kind of socket contraption. It's like this. It covers over the full mouth, and you're able to pump it back and be able to suck back whatever is in the child's mouth. And it was really something that we really were concerned about because we had seen over the years kids choking in my wife's field and my field, and we had seen sadly some videos during COVID on it about how these children had they choked, and one of them died. But thankfully, there was one of the situations where this gentleman had this product in his bag, and I was like, we should buy this, and so we ended up buying it. And I remember practicing or trying it out the first day. I laid down and my wife took it and she put the apparatus over my nose and my mouth, and she pulled back as hard as she could. It felt like my soul was leaving my body. It was incredible. So we know it works. Thank God we haven't had to use it. But going back to the story there is that we thought we were going to have to use it because we thought our daughter was choking in the moment. But thankfully she started spitting out this mouthful of edamame and nuts that she had, which she usually loves eating. But she's being super silly, and we're all like that at some point or another in life. And we were so thankful that she was okay. But then the second thought came to mind, which was like, oh no, if she started down this road, chances is she's gonna start puking. And lo and behold, all that nutrition just starts flying out of her. And let me tell you, as a parent, it's a gut punch. You're just like, what is going on here? Like, why is this happening to my little pumpkin? But, I guess you have to just kind of be thankful in the moment. No, you do have to be thankful. Not you kind of have to be thankful. You have to be thankful in the moment that you didn't choke, that she was around you, that she wasn't hurt, and just hope that she drinks her milk and it's enough to get her through the day. Because yeah, she has like these amazing like potentials for growth and height and her feet and all that, but she's not getting that nutrition. It kind of worries you sometimes as a parent. And it just got me thinking about how much God cares about us, and how, whether it's spiritual, emotionally, mentally, physically, how much we get ourselves into, how many problems we get ourselves into, and how we choke on things, and how God's always there to bail us out. And so I'm super, super thankful for that. And it helps me to just remember how much God loves me and how much God has done that for me over the years. And that I just need to take things a little slower. I need not to run. It's amazing in the Bible how God asks us never to fight with people or to fight with the enemy by running forward. It's always walking, standing, laying down or sitting down. It has nothing to do with going out into the world and acting, crazy like and fighting with people. So, my hope is that I daily learn from these types of principles as I'm becoming now a father of 3, and that I can help someone along the way. Hopefully, that's you on some level if you're watching. Yeah, so that was the story from yesterday. The story from today was just my one of my daughters again has been really struggling with being, not being alone anymore. She's my eldest, and God bless her heart. She's got such good communication skills for her age, and we have tried our best to instill in her, to give her a voice, to let her just kind of speak her mind, and she does that. Maybe sometimes too much, but she does it, and by God's grace, we love her. Absolutely love her for it. But as within the birth order, she's struggling because she's never really known life. Or sorry, I should say she has known life without any siblings, especially because of COVID and everything that went along with that, right? During COVID, you had people, not seeing people for weeks and months. We were in that category from time to time where we didn't see people for weeks. So she only knew us in the fullest of form. While her sister, she just knows us as a family. She knows her sister. She loves her with an enduring love. But my eldest sometimes just really gets jealous. And I just have to, as a father, recalibrate and think to myself, okay, she needs those extra words of affirmation. She needs those extra moments where she feels like she's loved. And she's the only little one in the world like she used to be. And so my eldest daughter, I'm trying to affirm her more and more as time goes on. I'm trying to just spend time with her, and I'm spending time with my youngest as well, and she's inevitably going to be the middle child very soon. And I'm trying to parse that out because as a dad, there's a lot of times in your life where, things get really busy, or people just kind of float in and out, and you want to make the right relationships with the right person. Each person is going to have their relationship needs, and so as an eldest kid myself, I think that because my eldest daughter needs that extra time and affection, and she's lashing out and she's ahead of the curve when it comes to her language skills, her thought processes, I need to up my game up. I need to preemptively get out in front of it. And I think that's where a lot of parents either don't have the time or they fail these days because they don't get out in front of it. And then they get angry that the kid is lashing out. Well, they're lashing out because, there's obviously another reason. And in my case, I think that reason is that she was the only one for some time. And she has to learn, and she's really good. Like, she'll protect her little sister like it's like nobody's business. But there's that wanting of that personal affection. And they usually say that the eldest child, if there's multiple children underneath, are kind of like that 2.0 parent, and we don't want her to feel that way, and we tell her consistently, and we recognize, like, look, you're the big girl, you get all the brand new stuff. A lot of the time, you get an opportunity to do things with us, and even sometimes you feel like you're a bit of a disciplinarian or a helper. Uh, but you're still just a kid, and you need to be a kid and enjoy your childhood. You need to just enjoy life. So we constantly are in a bit of a tug of war with her, and so I know as a dad, I need to step out in front of this, and I need to affirm her more than ever. So just thinking about her love languages and knowing that she really loves quality time and words of affirmation, I try my best to pull her aside, and just or give her time with mom on her own, and do that as many times individually as possible. Because when it comes to corporate play, she's an extrovert. She wants to play all the time, to the point where her little sister actually sometimes runs away from her because she always wants to play with her. So, it's just one of those things where I think as parents, we have to be cognitive of that birth order. If you want to be a parent one day, or you're an uncle, aunt, whoever you might be in whatever relationship you are, birth order has something to do with the way we all interact with the world, just because of what we're naturally disposed to. So, yeah, those are just the stories of the day. I'm doing the dishes. Like, I'm running out of time here with life. So I'll be streaming in the morning. I'll be stretching, usually Monday through Friday between 9 to 10 a.m. for about 15 minutes. And then around 10 or 11, I'll be doing a 20-minute workout, body weight, for a couple times a week. The stretching hopefully about 5 days a week, because I want to keep that up. And then dishes time at night. I just want to keep it to the story of the day. If anyone has any questions or comments, that's fantastic. I'm going to try to do the 16 by 9 format here. And I'll still continue to do the interviews. But I'm getting closer to the end, where I'll be pumping out the book at some point soon. So, I think God has a beautiful way of changing the dynamics of your relationship. And I just hope that when the water's running, the DJI mic does its job. I'm just testing it out, because I don't see too many people doing the dishes and talking about life, especially in retrospect of the day. And I was just also thinking about how busy life is, and how many little nuanced things we have to do, or we have to get done, or else things just escape us. I'm one of those guys who I can't let an email sit, in my inbox. I have to clear it. I have to do whatever. I've got, like, I don't know, uh, maybe 14 emails total in my 4 inboxes that are unread. My wife and multiple people that I know have like 30, 40, 50, 60,000 emails unread. I don't know how they do it. Praise God, everybody's different, but yeah, it's just not me. But anyway, I want to just get better at sharing while just doing the dishes, talking, doing life. Another thing that came up to mind was, I was talking to my wife about, at the moment we're just homeschooling, because I tried my daughter in school, and she likes the kids, but there's a lot of bullies. There's autism going on. There's a lot of children that need help, and God bless those children and families. But the teachers are overwhelmed. The assistants are overwhelmed. The kids are overwhelmed. And so, we thought, maybe school's not the right time right now. And, we did some research into it, and we live in Ontario. Ontario is the only province in Canada that puts kids to school at age 4. A lot of other provinces do age 5 or 6. And so, then we started looking at the worldwide average, and it's usually around 5 to 6. If you look at the global average, it's way closer to 6. Many of the predominant countries who are doing well in education started around 6 years old. So, I think when it comes to children and getting bullied and the problems that they face, a lot of the time this stuff is, I think it's, obviously every family situation is different. Everyone has different views on life, or a mortgage to pay, or single parent, and God bless y'all. But for our situation, is just thinking out loud, if our daughter's getting bullied, why send her to a place where she's going to get hurt when we can keep her home? She's ahead of the curve on the education side of things. And I wonder if these kiddos can actually emotionally deal with this stuff. I think there's a consensus, at least it seems to be more worldwide, that around 6 seems a bit better. So, we'll hold her back, maybe try her at 5 again, but, maybe more closer to 6 and just let her flourish. So that was their conversation. And then, I just read this gut-wrenching article where this little girl in the States, she's 12, and she was fighting off bullies that were trying to hurt her sister. I don't know if younger or older. And these bullies killed this little girl. I don't exactly know from what. The information seemed very vague, but obviously they did some terrible things to her to cause this little girl to be killed. And I showed my wife and I said, no, I'm good. We can hold her back for a bit, especially since my daughter is facing some bullying. So it's a somber world out there, some people, you may say that I'm missing out on their social, that I'm wussing out, that I'm not being a good Christian. But, if I look at history of education and humanity, people don't usually treat children very well, orphans and widows very well. Even if you look at Roman culture time when Jesus was around, from what I understand from a pastor friend that I know and doing some, very little research, in the Roman world, if your father pretty much at any time, under a certain age or even later on in life, if they were not okay with you or not happy with you, they could take your life. And that's scary. But what was very interesting, is that in Roman law, if you were adopted, you would be, indebted. Sorry, the person who adopted you was told to keep you alive pretty much at all costs. And it's interesting how, at least in our situation, versus Roman culture, how within Christianity and within the cultures that we're in, that God adopts us. And so in that adoption process, praise God, we get to be in that heavenly kingdom. And and in contrast, at least to the Roman culture at that time, it seems like we have more rights, as adopted children of God, and just adopted in general. Maybe it was so rare that people were adopted at the time. I'm not 100% sure as to why. Maybe it was to make sure that people weren't just doing it for, I don't know, the benefit of it, or just adopting children to make into slaves or whatever it was. But yeah, it's pretty interesting when Jesus came to the earth, and the principles that he left us, as he allowed us to naturally grow into our civilizations, go back and forth. So anyway, yeah, I'm kind of just rambling now here at the sink, and I'm hoping to do this more often, as when it's dishes time, it's a good time. Oh, I got to try out my light here too. This is the preliminary episode here, so let's see how this light does. And I don't know if it has. Hopefully it has a nice little glow to it. I don't know if it's flickering or not, but I'll have to see. I'll have to see how the recording of this goes. But anyway, it was gut-wrenching to hear that about that child. She lost her life, and so for now, me and my wife are just gonna hang tight and hope for the best. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to watch more of these videos, please take a look at the video that should be right here, and like and subscribe as well. That would be fantastic. I just want to say thank you again for joining the dad doing the dishes. I'm Stephen Tocher. Have yourself a wonderful day, evening, morning, or night. God bless you.